The door slammed open with a crash, and a man stormed in, his coat soaked from the rain outside. His face was a mask of pure exhaustion. He pointed an accusatory finger at the flickering neon sign behind him. "Your sign can't make up its mind," he shouted into the warm, quiet space. "It's saying not a pub one second and Nott's magical pub the next. Are you open or not?" Behind the bar, a man in an impossibly sleek waistcoat looked up, one eyebrow arched in amusement. He didn't seem surprised. "I am Nott, and those damn pixies must be at it again, always trying to confuse my customers." "The who are at it?" the man asked, shaking water from his sleeves onto the floor. Nott paused for a beat too long, his eyes widening just a fraction, as if he'd been caught. "I mean," he stammered, recovering with a smooth wave of his hand, "it must be the faulty wiring. The rain, you know, plays havoc with the circuits." "So, the establishment is closed?" the man asked, peeling off his drenched coat and hanging it on a hook by the door with a heavy, wet thud. "Oh no, the pub is still open. I'll be your full-time bartender and part-time friend for this rainy night. Welcome to Nott's magical pub. I am Nott, not Truefella." "A part-time friend?" the man chuckled, the sound weary as he slid onto a bar stool. "I guess I could use a part-time friend, just at least you're honest about being a part-timer." "Every friend is a part-time friend, my friend. We all have our time, and we all have our parts to play." Nott smirked, polishing a glass with a cloth that seemed to shimmer. "The important thing is to be true to our part. Even more important is to be true to our time." "Well, I've had my fair share of corporate motivational speakers for the day, and not enough whiskey. So, can I have less philosophy and more drink in my glass? Oh, and where are my manners? The name is Elias." Nott gave a slight bow. He took a glass, poured the whiskey with an elegant twirl of his wrist, and as he slid it across the polished wood, a perfect, crystal-clear sphere of ice formed in the center of the amber liquid with a faint fizz. Elias blinked. "Whoa, where did that ice come from?" "Oh, the ice?" Nott stammered, looking genuinely flustered for a second. Supercooled water. The molecules, they just freeze into ice, instantly." "And a perfect sphere, too," Elias observed, leaning closer to the glass. "That's the trick of the trade," Nott said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "So, Elias, what's got you so down? You look like a man who could use more than one drink." Elias took a long sip. "Yeah, work's a nightmare. My boss chewed me out today, called me all sorts of things in front of everyone. I just stood there and took it like a spineless fool." Nott leaned on the bar. "Ouch, that's a bruise to the soul. What did you do to earn such a charming review?" Elias snorted. "That's just how corporate world is. The boss needs a punching bag for his own stupid actions." "And what stupid action sent you to the slaughterhouse this time?" Nott asked. "Nepotism," Elias replied, the word bitter on his tongue. "My manager gave his nephew Jack a job and made him my underling. When the kid messes up, my manager doesn't admonish him. He blames it all on me. Well, why don't you give some hell to your junior as well? He gets chewed by you get chewed by your manager gets chewed by his boss, and we all make a perfectly nice pyramid," Nott said, folding a paper napkin into an origami pyramid. "And then one day my junior will chew out his junior, and the pyramid keeps getting bigger, which is something I am not willing to contribute to," Elias replied. "The ones are trying to act like nines. Can't they see they don't fit?" A disheveled man erupted from a shadowy corridor, clutching a storm of papers and muttering furiously. He stumbled toward the far end of the bar. "What the hell?" Elias jerked around in his seat. "Who is that?" "Oh, that's just Matt," Nott said with a warm giggle. "Our resident SHOWOCO enthusiast. Mostly harmless, but his words can be overwhelming. He sees the world a little differently." Nott slid a glass of red wine down the bar without looking. Matt caught it without looking up from his scribbling. "So, Elias, you don't want to put pressure on your junior. How is he going to learn and grow if you don't?" "Gremlins don't charm unbroken tools, you know," Nott said. "The what don't charm tools now?" Elias replied, looking weirded out. I mean spare the rod, spoil the child, or something like that," Nott corrected himself. "I don't agree with that primitive thinking," Elias said, taking another sip. "Plus, it's not the kid's fault. He's not cut out for this line of robotic work. He's a nice kid, really, but his uncle shoved him into this corporate life." "Oh, so what do you think he's cut out for then, friend?" Nott asked. That boy is made for music through and through, but I guess he had to listen to his uncle because of family pressure. I pity those fools, both of them, Elias said, his face showing scorn. Suddenly, Matt shouted from the other corner, "Nott! Did you know this? Fives in a pair do not go anywhere. They go out of the box. They don't fit in a square." "Yes, yes, Matt, you got the puzzle. Now why don't you relax a bit and have a drink?" Nott replied to him. "Is that friend of yours all there in the head, Nott? He's saying weird gibberish," Elias whispered. Nott chuckled. "Oh, don't mind him. His mind is just stuck in its own world right now, like a golem without a sprite. A what without a what?" Elias said, raising an eyebrow. "You say some weird things, you know that." I mean he's stuck in his puzzles," Nott corrected a little too quickly. "But from the looks of it, my friend, it seems you're stuck in a much bigger puzzle. I sense that Jack is not the only one who's out of place." Elias let out a dry, hollow laugh. "No, I'm good at what I do. I'm an accountant. I get the job done. It's just that." He sighed, the fight going out of him. "I wish I could do something else, something that feels like me." The gleaming sighs of could. "I've heard they kill softer than the poison of an adder crops," Nott replied, his eyes distant for a moment. "Well, I don't know what an adder whatever is, but I'll take the slow poison of another whiskey," Elias said, raising his empty glass. Nott smiled, taking the glass. "Another glass of your favorite poison coming right up." "So, what is that something else?" Nott asked, handing him the fresh drink. "I'm a baker's son. Back in my hometown, my parents owned a small bakery. I loved it. I thought I'd open my own place here in the city, but then I got stuck in this job. Now the risk feels too high." "So you'd rather play with fire and flour than with cash and power. That's a new one." Nott leaned forward, amused. "What's the risk?" "I make good money here, and this city bleeds it out of you fast," Elias replied. "I've learned a great deal about business and finance at my job, and I've seen many entrepreneurs crushed by this corporate world. I don't want to risk my stable job for a dream that might not succeed. Setting up your own business is risky and expensive." So you just don't have the dough to make the bread yet. Well, don't worry. Keep grinding the grain. You'll fill the sack soon enough," Nott grinned. Elias laughed, a real one this time. "You know, I like the way you put that. Truth is, the job hurts my soul, but it's very healthy for my bank account. I probably do have the dough." "Well then," Nott said, his head tilting, "if you have the dough, why aren't you cooking good looking?" "I don't know, my friend. That's something I ask myself every night. Maybe I'm too scared to fail. Maybe I'm set in my ways. Maybe it's too late to do that kind of thing. Every time I have to take crap from my boss, I think that I should. Then I start to wonder if I could," Elias admitted. My, you sound like a kobold possessed by a phobophage. You need to take heart, my friend, and preferably of a sea hag," Nott said with a mischievous grin. Elias gave him a confused look. "You've completely lost me. You're speaking in weird words again. Are you suggesting I go to the beach or what?" Nott waved a hand. "Oh, forget that. Those things are not here, but I do have something that might help clear your mind and put it at ease." "You mean another glass of whiskey?" Elias raised his half-empty glass. "Well, whiskey helps, but what if I told you that you could see what might happen if you took those risks, without any consequences?" Nott asked. Elias straightened up. "And how exactly could I do that?" Nott pointed toward the shadowy corridor. "It just so happens I have a room for all the should-haves, could-haves, and would-haves. Right down there." Elias squinted. He could just make out a door marked Sudoku room. "The Sudoku room? Sorry, my friend, I've had enough numbers for one day." "Oh no, not that one," Nott said quickly. "The one next to it." Sure enough, the neighboring door bore the word SHOWOCO. "The SHOWOCO room?" Elias asked. "What does that even mean?" "It stands for, Solutions Helping Ongoing Wanderers." "You're absolutely making that up," Elias cut him off. Fine, Nott laughed. "It means should, would, could. Step inside. You can watch the possibilities unfold." "Like a VR simulation?" "Something like that," Nott said smoothly. "It lets you watch the possibilities as if you're living them. Best part, the chrono manipulation module. You can live a lifetime in there, and only minutes pass here." "A lifetime?" Elias raised his brows. "And if I die in there, then you wake up here. No wounds, no scars, just wiser, maybe a little nauseous. That's where the whiskey comes in handy." Elias looked from Nott's earnest face to the mysterious door and back again. A lifetime in a minute? Come on, who do you think you are? Some kind of wizard? Nott's smile was cryptic. Oh, no magic here. Just the state-of-the-art electro-neuro-disruptive tech. Patent pending. Well, you've piqued my interest. Let's see what this SHOWOCO room is all about, Elias said, standing from the bar. Nott led him to the corridor. As they approached the SHOWOCO door, a strange, warm light began to pulse from the crack underneath. Whoa! That is freaky! What is going on in there? Elias asked as Nott opened the door. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just the room calibrating, adjusting to your brain frequency, Nott replied. As the door opened, Elias watched a blurry image form like a ripple in a puddle. Colors bled across it, shapes forming and sharpening. And then Elias saw himself. There he was, earlier that very day, hunched in his office. His boss loomed over him, red-faced, papers clenched tight. Elias could practically hear the tirade again, the cutting words about deadlines and responsibility. Elias blinked hard and stumbled back. Nott, that's me. From earlier today in my office. What the hell is this? Is there a camera in my office? What? No, I just told you the room is adjusting to your brain. This is your memory, Nott replied. But this is so vivid and so accurate. This has to be an extremely advanced tech, Elias said. Or, Nott said sarcastically, it could also be arcane trickery causing illusions in your mind by disrupting your perception. You are the weirdest bartender I have ever met, Elias stated, unable to look away from the vision. So what do? Just step into the vision and live out your choices, how you think you should, would, or could. Step in there and you will perceive it like you are living it, Nott said. And how will it end? I mean, how will I be able to come out if I want to? Elias asked. The room will eject you when you are done. Don't worry about it. It will only take a few minutes. I'll be right here when you are done, Nott assured him. Elias swallowed hard, hovered at the threshold. His pulse thudded in his ears. If this spits me back out with nothing but a headache, you owe me a whole bottle. Before he could talk himself out of it, he stepped forward. And the vision swallowed him whole. And the door to the SHOWOCO room swung shut with a soft, final click, leaving Nott alone in the quiet, rainy pub. A slow smile spread across his face.
What would you do if you were in Elias's shoes? Should he confront his boss, or is it time to walk away? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them to see where we take the story next. If you enjoyed this visit to the pub, please like and subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next chapter of Nott's Magical Pub. Thanks for listening.